Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test stream. Okay, so LumaFusion is just this massive update, right? So what I'm going to do today is show you some of the new features. I'm not going to do like a basic getting started because there are some very good ones already there. But I just want to cover some of the new features, some of the cool stuff you can do. Okay, first of all, this is a project. I'm going to take a look at this project in brief and then another project as well. This is a video that's going to be on YouTube probably later today or tomorrow, and it's just basically about the old Novation launch key. However, you will see that I have this transparency here which I made in Art Studio with thanks for all the help from the guys on the audio bus forum about which thing to use. And you'll see that it plays along the top here until it gets to here, and then it kind of disappears like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do initially is I'm just going to drag this in a little bit. Now this has some brilliant things. You can do pretty much anything. Your imagination is the key. But I want my little transparency here to actually fade in instead of just being there or straight away. So hello everybody, welcome to this. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to do, this is your clip manager sort of thing, and this is where you manage all your clips. These three little dots are where you import stuff that isn't already imported from, like I import stuff from Dropbox, for instance, but you can import from anywhere. Well, anywhere else. You don't need to use Dropbox, of course. And this here is your other stuff as well. So this is where you'd put your royalty-free music, and as you know, you can use other people's music. So you could say, for instance, just take this here, this exotic trip. And then you could just grab hold of it there and drag it down to one of the audio tracks here. And then it'll be in there. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we're going to take a look. This here is your audio mixer. So you could take the volume of that down or up. So let's just say Novation launch key again. Okay, so that's how you get your music in there. To get rid of an item, you just make sure it's highlighted, and then you can bin it. And we can close that now. Also, we can leave the master volume. There is seems to be a little glitch that the VU isn't working, but I'm sure that'll be fixed. It's minor. It's minor. This is a huge update. Okay, so now you're thinking, well, I want to get back to me things. So you just tap on the little thing there. And then you can go back to photos, and it's there. It's the same with anything that you've already previously imported. So I've got one item in here, and that is this. Now that was just one long video clip. If I select that now and select it there, you'll see that there are no cuts. It's 14 minutes long. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound. There are no cuts or anything like that at all done in this clip, okay? We'll get to that in a sec. So we can go back there now. We can just go to photos, and you'll see in moments here in my photos there is the transparency that I did. Okay, and there is my Novation launch key video, the one that's finished, ready to go onto YouTube, but I did in here. But we're going to make some other adjustments to it anyway. So okay. So the transparency, that's there. So that if I was to select that now, that would appear on the screen, and I could drag it in, and it would be transparent background. I don't want to get into how to do that neither, but you know. So let's just go back to photos in general. And now this is where you can navigate backwards. You can just go back to moments and then photos at the top here. If you want to import, you can import media from Dropbox. Okay, so that's that. We'll get into that in a sec as well. So here's the thing. I want this to fade in. So we go down here, we go to transitions first, and then we can select from various transitions, but we'll just do a cross dissolve because it's easy. We just pick hold of it here, and you will see it will highlight at the front there where your finger is, and then you can just drop it in. And then what will happen now, hello everybody, welcome. It will fade in, but what we can also do is if we expand our timeline a little bit, we can make our cross dissolve longer without affecting the time. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we're going to take a look at Novation launch key. And then it goes along, it goes along, it goes along for a bit until there, and it's a shrink. Okay, we're not, ignore this, but look at the actual little transparency. You will see that it shrinks down like that. And that is because I just inserted a shrink at the end. There, like that. Okay, so, and that's how I did that. It'll just shrink to, and then you can select this and you could make it take longer to shrink. I just want to play with some of the sounds. Now all these controls here are like that. I just want to play with some of the sounds. Now all these controls here, okay. Now you'll see now that there are cuts here. This is cut for a reason, okay? So if you don't need to cut, but if you don't cut it, if you're doing keyframing effects like this one, see where it zooms in and then zooms back out. It takes a long time in the timeline to find. So the easiest way to do this, let me show you. Let me go to a part near the end here, and you'll see all the effects that are happening as I scroll along. And then you see I've inserted some more video over the top. And then that one is solid, right? That one is solid because if we double tap on a clip, okay, and we see blending, you'll see that the opacity is at 100%. If I take this blend down now, you will see the image behind it, okay? So say for instance, okay, I want to go from but I still want to see the picture behind like I do on them. But let's say I want it to sort of be smoother or fade out over time. We'll double click on it. Now this is where you add your keyframes and stuff. This is just some of the video stuff. I'll get into the audio stuff, but I'll import another project for that because it'll make more sense. Okay, so you can see here this little blue line. That's the very beginning of your clip, and the clip lasts 17 seconds, 17.1 seconds. Okay, and these little lines in between, these are basically your frame position. Okay, so I want this to, let's go to blending before we get into any other complicated stuff. Okay, we'll do that in other videos, otherwise it will get way too confusing. So I want this to fade. I want this to kind of start transparent and fade to solid, then and quickly fade back out to transparent. Okay, so I'm going to add that there. I'm going to touch that there, which is a keyframe. And at that keyframe point now, I'm going to set this to about 50%. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to move my timeline along to about halfway. Okay, and then I'm going to make this go back up to 100%, and then I'm going to move my timeline along again to the end, and I'm going to take it back down to 50%, and you will see it will automatically insert another keyframe as soon as you make an adjustment. Okay, so if we go back now, what should happen is once it goes halfway, it will fade into solid and then fade back out to about 50%, which is about what that one is set at. And you'll see that what I did with that one is it's fading out completely. If I double tap on that, you will see that my keyframing, if I go to blending here, if I go to keyframing, you'll see that as it goes along here, it goes from the opacity at 50% again, roughly, down to absolutely, down to only 12%. And you could actually take that down even further and it will bang in another keyframe, and that will be absolutely clean by the time it gets to the end. Back onto my original video track. because it's gone. Okay, so again, with these effects, stuff like this. Now that's why you make a cut. By the way, you make cuts where you want the effects to be applied. So I cut this there because I wanted this blaring effect to start there and there. Otherwise, I would be keyframing forever. There's this one as well. And these are all pretty easy to do, you know. You could just basically cut where you want it to start, cut again where you want it to end in a blank place. Maybe it would be more logical if I actually showed you here. So for instance, this is going along now, going along, and it's doing this color thing, which is a couple of different effects added exactly the same way. But let's just cut that there, and let's cut it there, okay? And there's other ways to cut as well. You can just tap either side of the clip and it'll cut. And then highlight the part that you want to make the adjustment to, okay? So let's double tap that now. And you will see that I've got, in the effects here, the original. If I go back, you'll see that all sorts of cool stuff is happening with the actual keyframe bits and pieces. But I just want to revert this to the original picture now, and I'm going to remove all the keyframes by pressing those there, and it'll take all the keyframes out. And I'm going to set that to original all the way to the end. Okay. In fact, I will insert, just to show you as well, another cool thing you can do. I'll insert another keyframe there. I will go to about the center of the clip. Okay, and let's go to this effects section. These are your effects, okay? So you have all sorts of cool filters and stuff you can use. Okay, so for instance, you could have that one. We'll take that out. Or you could have this one. And you make adjustments via the little switch here. Okay, so you can see that there are all sorts of very, very cool things that you can do. And this little dots here show you how many effects more you can add. So I could add another loads and loads of effects just to this one clip. But for now, we shall just revert back to our original. So we'll take better sepia off, and we just got our original clip, and I will apply angles. Now you see here, you have, these are your adjustments for your effect, basically. Okay. And you can blend between the affected and the not affected sort of thing. So let us add a keyframe there, which is non-affected. Let us go to here. Let's blend this out completely. Go to there. Let's move this along a little bit further. Make another blend adjustment, which will automatically add a keyframe, and then go all the way along to there. Now, of course, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper. You can add another effect over the top of that. You can, you know, as many of these effects as you like. So let's go back and see what that looks like at our cut point. Now, you would obviously want to work much better than this, because if you take your time, you get better results, obviously. So if you've got a MIDI control, it's kind of pre-mapped. That was the video, by the way. So there you go. So that's basically how you can add your effects and bits and pieces. But I don't want to do that, so I just keep on doing until it's gone, basically. Anyway, you get the idea. That's how you add your effects. Okay, and then again at the end you can do exactly the same and bring it in like that. So let's see. Okay, so projects, they're automatically saved. Okay, so you don't need to worry about naming them and saving them, but you can name them. Obviously, this is called, not just tap on it there and you can rename it something. If we hit this little button here, we go to where our projects are stored. Now, the cool thing is I can now archive, I can export this here. I can export the movie to Dropbox or YouTube. I can choose the video quality, so you could go economy, web, smallest, titchy tiny, not going to be great quality. Standard's good, so that'll do. And then you could export it as that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to import a project that I exported. I exported the whole thing. So let's import this, and I'll just make a cut here and come back when it's done. Okay, so we're back. So here is the project that I did. It's only a short one, and I did it for the Patreons when I was playing around with 2 cameras because I wanted to do cutaways like this. Hello, Patreons. So this is just a test to see if I'm doing this right. So in a sec, this should cut away to the camera I have here. So, hello. Oh yes, it has. Right, so I think we need to just move that around a little bit like that. Better. Yeah, so so basically what's gone. So right, there you go. Now you'll notice down here I have a little piece of music. That music is from, let me just see, from their royalty free music pack. Okay, so that was just as a demo for the actual the video. Now you'll see that there's cuts in this. Now this, when I recorded this, it was one complete video. So if we listen to the audio here, doing this right, so in a sec this should cut away to the camera I have here. So hello. Oh yes, it has. Right, so I think we need to just move that around a little bit. So I had 2 video tracks and 3 audio tracks. Now the main audio was recorded into my Tascam recorder, because I like to have all audio separate, so I can sync it all up. And what you know, it's easy. You can make claps and stuff like that, sync and cut. So just like you would with audio. Okay, then you sync it up like this. Okay, so you have 3. Now the top clip will be the prominent clip, so that if there's no opacity on that clip, you won't see it. But if I was to tap on this, go there, go to blending again, I could fade between, see, the one that's playing and the one that I want you to see. So once you get your head around that, you can see that you can apply, and you can do this with up to 3 video clips. So once you've synced your audio up, that's fine. You can take the audio out completely for the track that you don't want, so you know, the video tracks that sound naff, and use your proper audio track, and the same with music. Okay, so let me just get rid of that there. To the camera I have here. So, and all this literally was here was me cut and just taking it out, the bits that I didn't want. Okay, it's the same with that. Quickly back, and at the end as well. And at the end I just inserted some beach music, beach footage to run over the music at the end, just for fun. So okay, so here's the thing. What you can do now you can also, if you want to have more control over your audio that's actually in your video, you can, I'm not going to do this now, but you can triple tap the video clip and it will detach the audio and put it on another audio channel. We could do it, look. See? And then we could, well, that's muted anyway, but then you have the audio, the actual audio from the video on a separate audio track, but we don't want that. But you can if you want to. Now here's the cool thing. Also as well, you can now do loads and loads of cool stuff with audio. Okay, so it's much better. So you take any audio track. Now these audio tracks weren't separate. I just made cuts in them. Okay, it's just one complete audio track. That's just that I cut it, and this is just their audio. So what we're going to do is just going to take out the audio track for now. So just left with two cameras as well also. So I'll move that back. So if I double tap on that now, you'll see that we have tons of control over the audio. We can pan it. Okay, so you'll see the pan. Let's play in pan. I have picture in picture, as well as sort of this cutaway thing. So you can also obviously control your volume, and it also has now you can set this to duck. So if you're doing voiceovers and stuff like that, now I haven't got into this yet, so you know I'm not. I will on another video. But if you've got music playing and you're doing like an overdubbed audio, you could get the music to duck, I guess, and do it like a DJ would. But like I said, I haven't got into that. Furthermore, now it has effects that you can add to the audio. Okay, and now the brilliance of this is that you can add any of your audio unit effects to your audio track as well, and you can keyframe them, so you can automate the audio effect. So let's say, for instance, we take an EOS too, like this. These here are the settings for EOS. All right, so you don't get the audio unit pop-up, but you do. It is EOS, and that's what it's working. So I'm going to show you something very, very cool now. So the mix is at 0 at the moment. Okay, so it'll just be, if it was like for keyboards, you could see the keyboard or the setup and things like that, and hopefully that will make the videos a little bit more. Well, we could do more stuff. So I'm now affecting my audio track with EOS. But let's do this. Let's choose a much larger thing. So let's say dark synth hole, which is huge. Now don't do this while this is running, okay? Because this will just drift backwards and forwards. Once you've selected your preset sort of thing, you can close that now, and what we'll do is we'll take the mix down and play. Here's the thing, on the camera I'm looking at now, which is like so now we've applied our ears to that, but furthermore the cool thing is now what we can do is, remember, take it back to the beginning of where you want your clip to start. Okay, add a keyframe, and that keyframe will be this setting here. Move, I mean, you could make small incremental movements, you know, and have it going all over the place. Then at this point where you want the effect to be at its maximum point or whatever, you can set this mix to there. Okay, that's going to be quite a lot because this is a dense hall. And then if we want it to fade out again, let's add another keyframe. Let's make our mix go down, and it will automatically add a keyframe there. So now what we get is this. If we take it back to our main screen, let's do this, and you'll see it's got a little icon on it now. To sync up in LumaFusion, so I can sync the video all together, so that when I start to cut away, I'll have the main audio track, which will never need to change. So that would be good. So hopefully what you're seeing is what will be good for future videos. If I need to show like two cameras as well also, so I could have picture in picture as well as so there you go, guys. I don't want to go any further now because it all gets a bit too confusing, but I will cover different things in detail. But the thing is that you have an insane amount of control over everything now, over all your video footage, over your audio. It's just a remarkable thing, and it is an absolute joy to work with once you start to just understand the basic concepts of Luma and get your head around the architecture of how they've designed the app. it's just fantastic. I mean, it really is great. I love it. I do, and I know Jacob loves it, and I'm sure he'll cover stuff like that. But the ability to be able to use your AUs, V3s in there now, also as well on your audio tracks, and you can have up to 3 audio tracks. You can, of course, use your own music. I just put that in there just as a demonstration of using their royalty-free music. You've seen over the last few weeks I've been doing Luma videos with our own music and just as normal videos and stuff like that. So it's so ridiculously cool the way you can add effects, add transitions. It's easy. It all works perfectly. You can, but if you watch some of my last few videos, I usually say they were done with Luma. You also get an idea of some of the very, very cool stuff you can do. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. It's been half an hour. I don't really want to go any further than that. Just basically covering a few of the new things. There are other things, and I will get into specific editing and keyframing in a better way, but you get the idea. Okay, yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Consider becoming a patron. That's very cool beans. And I will see you guys later.